Hi, this is Laura Whitmore with Acoustic Nation, and I'm here today at the Taylor Guitars Factory to have a little chat with Bob Taylor and Andy Powers. Hey.
Hey,
How
welcome.
are you guys?
Thanks for coming,
Thank
Laura.
you for ordering the good weather for me.
Yeah, it's nice out there, isn't it? It's like
Well,
straight up
San
summer.
Diego's a good place to be.
Yes, we're in San Diego. It's the most beautiful weather on the planet. Today we're going to chat a little bit about maybe a little backstory of Taylor history and going forward. It's your 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And so congratulations.
Thanks. I can't believe 40 years has gone by so fast. Because I always think about, in the early days, me and Kurt would say, I wonder what it would feel like to be in business 10 years. You know, now that we've done that 4 times.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Your baby has grown up.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that. One of the thoughts I had was, 10 years in, did you ever think that you'd get to this point of being this?
Not 10 years in, no. We were still completely starving and struggling 10 years in. It was kind of bad then.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't really any money, and we paid our bills late and didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. It was a real struggle. It was hard to get our guitars sold, but we kept beating the bushes. Somewhere around 12 years, started to work a little bit.
Yeah. So what was that pivotal moment when you thought, you know what, this is going to work? Because I noticed in your timeline there was a period when you went from 500 and the next milestone was 11,000.
Yeah. Well, we were in our first shop in Lemon Grove for 12 years, and somewhere around year 11, dealers were beginning to kind of get what it was that we were doing. Our craft had gotten a little bit better. There were some people that knew about our guitars. We were making 3 guitars a day or something like that, and the sales started coming a little bit easier. And that's when that was a really good feeling. I remember that point when it started going. But I mean, gosh, we make 700 guitars a day or something now. So even then, at that 3, we would look at how are we going to sell 3 guitars today?
Yeah.
But
I feel like your guitars they have their own characteristics. They're different than any other guitars on the market, especially with a larger company. When you developed your guitar brand, what holes did you see in the market that you felt like this is the direction I want to go?
Well, it's interesting because I was too young to see holes in the market. I started this company when I was 19.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about anybody else's guitars. I made my first 3 guitars before I knew what a Martin was. Okay, so we didn't see holes in the market. We were just making guitars. And what's interesting is a lot of times if someone goes into a business with a real plan, they see something that they want to fill. But I'm going to say that our approach was somehow a little bit more young and innocent than that. It really was. Kurt and I wanted to make guitars and sell them. So we made guitars and we sold them. And one of the great advantages of the early years, or the establishment of Taylor, was that I didn't know anything about other guitars. So that's how our guitars became unique. I made a guitar that sounded a little more brilliant and bright than other guitars, and people tended to like that. I made guitars with skinny necks, and they were easy to play, and people liked that, so I just kept doing it.
I thought maybe it was you made the guitar that you wanted to play.
Well, I definitely did.
Yeah.
It's you could say that because when I would make guitars, I would just, for example, what we got known for quickest was how our guitars felt. I didn't know that necks were supposed to be fat. I just made them to where they felt good for me.
Yeah.
And I'm a okay player. I can strum and sing, along with most people.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with the guitars. But we didn't have a big plan. And our plan developed as we went.
Yeah, but I suppose at some point you're like, okay, buyers seem to want to buy this one, so we're going to move more in that direction and not in this other direction, perhaps. We
did realize that we had a unique tone, and we learned that after the fact.
Yeah.
So we kept doing it.
Okay.
There was never some time that we were trying to make our guitar in those years sound like some vintage this or that.
So total luck. No.
Well,
Just kidding.
we moved our business purposefully down the road, but we didn't go into business with a plan. the plan was, I hope I can sell this guitar that I made so that I can do it again tomorrow.
Right, right. And so I'm going to talk about the future in a minute, but I did just want to, for a moment, talk about, you know, what you touched on just a little bit about how you started building guitars in the first place and your very first guitar that you made and how that came about.
When I was 12 years old, I bought a little acoustic guitar from a friend across the street, and I learned to play Green Onions and Michael Row Your Boat Ashore on it. And then I got interested in electric guitar, so I sawed the body off of the neck, and I went down to the boys club and got a piece of plywood and shaped an electric guitar body to within an inch of its life. I never could buy a pickup. I never even thought that far ahead, and I didn't finish that guitar. And then all through school, I made things. We had great industrial arts classes, metal shop, wood shop, drafting, all of these things. I was more interested in playing guitar by the time I was in high school. Didn't have any money to buy one. And I went down to the store and I saw this 12-string made by Echo, an Echo Ranger 12-string. It's just not a very good guitar, but it was the best thing I'd ever seen in my life at the time. And it had a skinny neck too. And I thought, I'm going to make a guitar in a wood shop, and that's what I did. And I got 2 weeks into making that guitar, and that's when I fell in love with guitar making.
So in school, in wood shop?
So I made 3 guitars and a banjo in high school wood shop. By the time I graduated, I decided I'm going to do that some way, somehow I'm going to do that.
Did you apprentice with another builder, or?
Well, there was a local guitar shop called American Dream Guitars. They were kind of a hippie guitar repair, custom guitar shop owned by a fellow named Sam Radin in Lemon Grove. And I discovered them along the way and was buying fret wire and mother of pearl from them. When I got when I graduated from high school, I came down and he put me on. I got a workbench. I started making some guitars. And within a year, he wanted to sell his shop and move on. It was a little tiny shop, not a lot bigger than what we have here in the room that we're in. And
not here.
Not here in the proverbial here. That takes up the whole block. But yeah, Kurt was working there at the time, and him and I put a plan together, and we paid Sam a small fee and $3,000. We paid off $3,000 worth of bills for him.
Wow.
And we took over that little shop and started our business.
Sounds like you were kind of in the right place at the right time for that.
Yeah. $3,000 was a lot of money for us.
Back then,